Well, I am joined by the son of the late, great Sam Phillips, president of the Sam Phillips Recording Company, and most importantly, my boss, Jerry Phillips. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Chip, and I'm not your boss. We just work together.
Well, I appreciate the checks you signed for me either way, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, without you guys, we wouldn't have a radio station. Yeah. So I appreciate you too, man. I really do.
Well, speaking of people without a radio, people that without a radio station, we wouldn't be here without your dad, Sam.
That's true. He radio was his first love. He started out in radio, and he ended up in radio. Actually, when he kind of got out of the music business, he went back and bought radio stations, and that was his first love. It was, radio was always to him and still is to me the theater of the mind. You have to use your mind when you listen to radio, and radio takes you places, like he used to say. He was on the farm. He was raised on a tenant cotton farm. And there was people that picked cotton all the time, and he would go in and listen to the radio, and it would take him away. He'd listen to the Grand Ole Opry and stuff like that, and it would just make him, be somewhere else. And that's what radio still does to me. I hear a song that reminds me of some romance I had in the past, or some kind of experience I had in the past, and it's just a great medium, man. And he loved it. He really did.
Yeah, he really did, man, especially because, we were talking about it just a minute, right actually before I called you. We're celebrating our 50th year on the air here at WQLT. Our 50th anniversary is 2023.
I know that, man. Let me give you a little thing. Okay, this is Sam's 100-year birthday. It's our 50-year Big River. It's 63 years for our Sam Phillips recording studio in Memphis, and 71 years this year for Sun Record Company. So that's a lot of years of a lot of stuff. I'm telling
you, you're better at the math than I am, man. I'm telling you, all I knew was about the 50. I didn't know about anything else. So, of course, the 100th anniversary, we've been celebrating that all day. A minute ago, I actually played Rocket 88, which a lot of people consider to be the very first rock and roll record ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's in history. That's what it's kind of where it's found its place. That song has Ike Turner playing piano, the intro in there, of Ike and Tina. It turned out being Ike and Tina, but it was Ike Turner. He was a great musician, and actually they were coming up from Memphis with. They opened the trunk of their car to get something out, and the amplifier fell out, and they busted the tube, and so it was either the tube or the cone of the speaker, but it made the guitar sound real fuzzy. And all of the guys in the band said, "Man, we got to go get another amp." And Sam said, "No, man, we're going to keep that. That's an unusual sound." And they kept that. If you listen to that record, you'll hear that fuzz tone guitar in there. And I think it might have been the first fuzz tone that was ever recorded. You know what I mean? But it was by accident. But my dad was always looking for something different, and that was so different that the sound of that he wanted to leave it in there. And that record stands up today. I've been listening all day to what you guys have been playing, and all of those Sun records and all those records that you've been playing, they still sonically sound as good as anything on the radio today. And that's really, to me, an amazing thing, because he was working with one track and 6 microphones.
Right.
So,
getting that iconic sound.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a lot of talent involved in capturing that sound.
Right.
Very few microphones.
Right. Hey, let me ask you something that we actually posted about earlier this morning, that big announcement that you had today about you partnered with Stax Museum of Soul Music to bring the iconic Spectra Sonics console from the Stax Studio B to your studio.
That's true.
That's so cool, man.
We've had it for a year now, refurbishing it. The Stax Museum called the man that's now general managing our studio, Scott Bomar, he's got a band called the Bo Keys. He's our chief engineer, and he did the music for Dolomite, the Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah.
And so he told us about that console that they had gotten it back, and a lot of Isaac Hayes was recording it. A lot of those hits coming out of Stax Record Company were cut on that board. So we decided we'd refurb it and put it in our studio and go into a partnership with the Stax Museum And it's really been an exciting thing because those boards are very great analog consoles, and it sounds wonderful. In fact, I just did 7 songs of my own on there. So I'm doing an album on myself, and it turned out to be really great sounding console. In fact, when we were in there recording me, it was actually supposed to be a test session, and it turned out to be sounded so good as far as the console was. There wasn't any problems with it or anything, that we went ahead and just said, let's just go ahead and make this my record. So anyway, but yeah, we're excited about that, man. We really are, and we're getting a lot of response off of that. People want to come to an iconic studio like Sam Phillips Recording, and then also record on the Stax board, man, that came out of Studio B. And like Scott Bomar said, he believes that everybody that recorded on that console, like Isaac Hayes and everybody, left a little bit of their audio DNA in there.
Right. Oh, man.
And so, it's cool, man. It really is. It's a good thing, and it really has kind of made me get excited again about the record business, because it's a new beginning in a way. The combination of Stax and Phillips,
Yeah, exactly. Every time you bring me something from there that you guys have recorded, it just blows me away every single time.
Well, great, man. Great. We've been doing it a while, but it doesn't mean it's always going to be good.
Well, it has been. I've enjoyed it. Well, today is Sam's 100th birthday, and I don't really know exactly. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything like that, but do you think Sam would be happy with what we've done over the last 50 years? I mean, granted, he was there for 30 of them, but the last 20, you think he would have given us the seal of approval?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I can guarantee there's no doubt about it. And he really died before there were apps and everything. In 2003, I know if he'd been able to listen, all the time, he would have been listening all the time.
Oh yeah, but, absolutely.
He would have been so proud that everything is, still going. The things that he started, and with the same independent spirit that he had. And that's what all you guys have. You all have your own personalities. You don't sound like each other. But, his artists were like that. Nobody sounded like anybody else. Johnny Cash didn't sound like Jerry Lewis, or Jerry Lewis didn't sound like Elvis. Elvis didn't sound like Roy Orbison. And on our radio stations, everybody has their own distinct personality, which is great, I think. And I guarantee you, he would be really proud of you and Fletch and David and everybody that's on that radio station. River. I mean, it's a talented bunch of people. It really is. And like I said, you all have your own unique deal going on. And his whole deal was, he hated the word perfect. Now, he didn't want anything perfection. And we do a great job, but nobody's perfect. And he'd be extremely excited about what's going on. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I guarantee you were 100% on the mark. And he would have been listening to that app 24 hours a day.
You would be calling you going to Chip.
Yeah, exactly.
You sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
Just, back off that mic.
Now you're gonna have to turn off that mic. Back off that mic a little now. Yeah, I could hear it in his voice, man. I only met him the one time, but that one time I met him, I can tell you that was an experience that I cannot describe, to be perfectly honest.
Well, anytime Sam Phillips walked into the room, it's just kind of like Elvis Presley, the whole molecular structure of the air changed.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's true. I'm not saying that because I'm his son or anything.
No. You're 100% right.
You knew he was in the room. You knew something was in there when he came in. Something changed. And it was the same way with Elvis. When Elvis walked in the room, I mean, it was like, okay, everything's different now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I wish you could have spent more time with him. He loved you.
Exactly, man. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get back to the celebration of Sam. I got a whole bunch of Sun records that I'm going to play all afternoon, and I'll just let you sit back and listen to it, Jerry.
Well, man, I appreciate it, Chip, and thanks for the great job you're doing, and I'll see you after a while.